In the series of India's Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, that is celebration of India at 75 and also the celebration of 80 years of CSIR. Today's webinar is on a scientific resource or an encyclopedia compiled and developed at one of CSIR constituent laboratory, the National Institute of Science Communication and Policy Research, CSIR NISPER. The title of the talk today, The Wealth of India Raw Material Series, is an internationally acclaimed dictionary or a reference standard for authentic information on Indian economic plants, animals, and minerals. CSIR NISPER, basically a recent merger of two CSIR laboratories, CSIR National Institute of Science Communication and Information Resources, CSIR NISCARE, and National Institute of Science, Technology and Development Studies, CSIR NISTERS, situated in Delhi, is working in collection and dissemination of scientific information in regard to research and industrial matters, and also towards the study of various aspects of interaction among science, society, and state. So today in this webinar, both the topic of the talk and the associated CSIR Institute have stories of their origin and legacy. And we are connected with experts to listen about those in more detail. So we have with us Director CSIR NISPER, Dr. Ranjana Agarwal, Professor Vidhu Eri from Jamia Hamdard, Dr. Sagnik Haldar, Senior Research Scientist, Imami Limited, and Mr. R.S. Jayasomu, Chief Scientist from CSIR NISPER. I am Dr. Shikha with you, Scientist from Science Communication Directorate at CSIR Headquarters, and I welcome you all once again for the webinar. So we shall start with our talks with an opening remarks by Dr. Ranjana Agarwal, Director CSIR NISPER. Dr. Ranjana obtained her BSc, MSc and PhD from Kurukshetra University, and after carrying out her postdoctoral research at Cambridge University, she once again joined Kurukshetra University as a lecturer in 1995 and served till the level of Professor of Chemistry and the Director of Women's Studies Research Center at the university before taking the charge as Director CSIR NISPER. Dr. Ranjana's research contributions have been acknowledged in the form of awards, notably Dr. Basudev Banerjee Memorial Award of 2014 by Indian Chemical Society and Professor S.S. Katiyar Endowment Award of 2015 by Indian Science Congress. So with this, I request Dr. Ranjana Agarwal to kindly deliver the opening remarks for the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Shikha, for the nice introduction and also brief introduction about the institution. So first of all, those who are joining us online and those who are with us in the institute, I would like to congratulate everyone, being it the 75th years of independence, which we are celebrating, and also the 80th year of CSIR establishment. So we are very happy to have with us Professor Vidhu Eri. She's from Jamia Hamdard, and Dr. Sagnik Haldar from Imami Limited, the speakers of today's webinar. So I welcome both of you and thank you for sparing time out of your busy schedule to be here with us. Today's seminar, Wealth of India Raw Material Series, I think is a real tribute to our unsung heroes of our freedom struggle, our scientists, not only in the colonial period but also to our sages who valued natural resources. Going back to Vedic times, ancient periods, starting from our Vedas, if you look very well, we have documented the importance of natural resources. For us, they were not wealth in monetary terms. For us, they were part of us, an integral part of humanity. That's why in our Vedas, we talk about plants, we talk about animals, we talk about rocks as gods. We worship them. So that shows, the intellect and the humanity our sages thought at that time, the scholars thought at that time. They didn't think it as only resources to be exploited. There was a very, very fine balance how these resources should be utilized, and they were documented well. But I think there were times, 8-9 centuries, I will say, that when we started losing that legacy, the pride that we had with us. So when we talk today wealth of India, and does it seem to be a new concept? To me, it does not seem to be a new concept. The concept is years old, thousands of years old. The only thing is the perspective, how now we look at it. So because it is also 75th year of independence, so I would like to talk about how our Indian natural wealth was exploited by the Britishers. Britishers didn't bring modern science to India for the welfare of Indians. They wanted to have a systematic financial exploitation of our natural resources. When we say in our textbook, we say who discovered India. If you Google it today also, they say Vasco da Gama, as if we were living in caves. We didn't have any knowledge with us. We didn't have any resources with us. Why did Vasco da Gama came to India? There was no need. If India was so backward, if India didn't have any resources, so there was no point for Vasco da Gama or other Europeans who followed later on to come to India. So Europeans came to India because India was known for its rich natural heritage. Spices, we all know. He came to Calicut because he has heard of that spice route. And that route he didn't explore himself. There was a Gujarati merchant, Kanji Mallam, who piloted him to Calicut, and people were trading spices. So India was much more advanced. And when those Europeans came to our country and saw the bounty of nature, how fortunate we were to have, rich flora, fauna, and minerals with us. And that's why when Britishers brought science to India, they wanted to exploit it systematically. And from there, they started Survey of India. The first one in 1767 after the Battle of Plassey, when they become from traders to administrators. So that was the time when they started using India natural wealth. And then, lots of surveys, we know Geological Survey of India because they wanted coal for their steam engines, for their transportation. So Geological Survey was to exploit our mineral resources, Botanical Survey of India in 1819 to look at our flora, diversity, Geological Survey of India, and so on. So that, that journey kept on going, documenting our wealth systematically so that they can utilize it. And when it comes to economically viable plants and animals and minerals, then started with this Dictionary of Economic Products, which was prepared by George Watt. So it's a very, very good initiative to document the things. As I said, we were documenting in a different manner. Our tradition was of Shruti, where students studying in Gurukulas and gurus chanting the mantras and telling the information. But this kind of documentation, which is, a kind of systematic documentation and can be available to everyone whosoever wants to approach it. So it was an initiative to compile that Dictionary of Economic Products and started in 1873, and it kept on going. And CSIR, which was established in 1942, understood the importance, because when we were becoming politically independent, it was also very important for us to be economically independent, to be, self-reliant in S&T. And therefore, CSIR also initiated this program to compile wealth of India, and our institution was given the responsibility to do it. And I think it is in CSIR's one of the longest project, which ran from 1940 to 2009. And when I look at these volumes of wealth of India, Bharat Ki Sampada, I really get amazed, because I look at the time when these volumes were created, this information was collected by our scientists. Today it seems to be very simple. You are, just clicking button of your mouse and you get the information whatever you want. But that time in 1942, you imagine, even for a small piece of information, you have to, go physically, sit in the libraries, go to the archives, get the proper authentic documentation. this collecting of wealth of India is not an emotional thing that you get emotional about your country, about the bounty of the nature. You have to be very authentic. It is coming from the premier organization R&D CSIR. So our scientists work day and night to collect that information, uh, networking with botanists, geologists, geologists, all the scientists across different part of India and getting the authentic information. So I salute those scientists, those contributors who have done great effort to compile these volumes, Wealth of India. NISPER is very proud of this intellectual property which we have, and it has always played very important role in guiding our S&T policies. We all know about this turmeric fight, जिसको हल्दी घाटी का युद्ध भी कहते हैं, which CSIR fought. So, preserving our traditional knowledge, acknowledging our traditional knowledge, inculcating the sense of pride among our citizens, I think Wealth of India has played a very important role, and still it is one of the most popular book, most popular encyclopedia, which is authentic and being referred everywhere. So I think I have taken much more time than which was allotted to me, but I'm very happy that we have with us Professor Vidhu Airy from Jamia Hamdard. They are also working on natural resources. We know how, what kind of things are going on, preserving traditional knowledge, Unani medicines are trademark of Jamia Hamdard, and also we have Sagnik Haldar. So with two very reliable and important resource persons, I think we are going to get more information. Our audience will be more benefited. And I congratulate Dr. Jay Somu for taking this initiative. He is also looking after our herbarium, which we have created in NISPER. Our Jigyasa students, whenever they visit NISPER, they really enjoy the collection we have with us, flora, fauna, and the minerals we have. And the headquarters, Shikha, Mahesh, Geeta, thank you so very much for including Wealth of India as one of the success stories of CSIR from NISPER in your 80 stories. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the welcome and for delivering such a nice talk introducing the origin of this raw material series on Wealth of India to our audience and also relating it with our ancient history. So thank you once again. We shall now move to our speakers to know more about the series. And the first speaker for the webinar is Chief Scientist from CSIR NISPER, Mr. R.S. Jayasomu. Mr. Jayasomu obtained his post-graduation from Madras Christian College, Chennai, and further pursued research in the University of Madras. He then joined CSIR Publication and Information Directorate, which is now CSIR NISPER, as scientist in 1989 and served as member editorial team of the Wealth of India Raw Material Series with responsibilities of updating the animal entries in the encyclopedia. Currently, he is the editor, Indian Journal of Experimental Biology, and also heads the research journals of biological sciences at CSIR NISPER. He is also a member of editorial board of Social Service Practices and Community Development Journal, published by National Service Scheme, University of Mumbai. So with this, I invite Mr. Jayasomu to kindly inform us more about the raw material series and its compilation at CSIR NISPER. Over to you, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Shika, for the nice brief introduction. And indeed, it's a pride for everybody in CSIR, not only in NISPER, that the Wealth of India is a day of Wealth of India that we can take out to our, the general public at large. We can discuss in one or two about the time to come now. So, is it visible, my presentation?
Yes, sir, but not in presentation mode.
Okay. Let me take that. Is it okay now?
It has not come to my screen.
Okay, but in my screen it is. It is shifting. Is it moving?
No, sir.
Moving. Okay.
Deepak ji, is it moving? Can you please help?
Moving. How do I make it that?
Sir, it's not in presentation mode till now. It's still in slide,
Okay,
PPT
let me.
slides.
Okay, let me try again. Okay, but first I will change in my system and then I will come back. Okay. 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 Now let me. Okay. Let me share now. Okay. Browse. Okay. So is it there now? Hello.
Yes, yes, yes. It's there in presentation mode.
Okay. Is it moving now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's moving.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. And I'm sorry for a little bit delay in this. Okay, so today we will discuss a little bit about the wealth of India, how I mean it went ahead and why at all it got so much recognition, and how it became the I mean one of the 60 best products of CSIR, and hence we are talking and I mean getting into the list of successful stories of CSIR. So quickly I'll browse this. This is my title slide, and CSIR NISPA. It's a exclusive premier science communication and policy research institute in the whole of country primarily, and then our mission is to promote science and technology innovation policy studies and science communication quality science. Okay. And then benefits to industry, we run research journals, about 19 research journals, subtracting periodicals, okay, and then popular science magazines. Everybody might have heard about the magazine Science Reporter, Vigyan Pragati, and Science Ki Dunia in Urdu. And we do conduct skill development programs, especially on library skills and science writing programs, okay, for the benefit of public. And we also extend services, and we are the leading lab to give ISS and nodal agents in the country, NKRC, and we have our own museum division where we have authentic samples collected of natural products, and then which helps us to extend our service authentication to research scholars and industries. We have a senior colleague, Dr. Sunita Agar, who is an ethnobotanist. She's an expert in that, and we avail her service in this. And this is a glimpse of our 19 journals. And the best part of NISCAR journals is all the journals are indexed. Okay, SCI, Scopus, and at least UGC CARE. That is the recognition. Okay, it's just about how we are recognized, and metrics also. Okay, about 12 of our journals are having ranks. Okay, and especially this time, Indian Journal of Biochemistry and Biophysics, with its impressive score of 1.918 journal impact factor of Clarivate analytics. Uh, it ranks 16th in all India level. Okay, and then we are indexed by NAS agency. There is a National Academy of Agriculture and Academic Sciences. And this gives you a glimpse of our coverage, and this gives a glimpse of our matrices. Okay, and all our NISCAT journals are available free. Okay, and even to contribute and as well as read, it's in complete open access. This is the source, that NISCAR online periodical repository, NOPR. If you Google it, you will reach all our journals. Use that, and then these are the 3 magazines that we have mentioned. In addition to that, we have a number of books, very interesting at very economical rates. Okay, for use of the public at mass. And then information resources as a documentation center. Also, we have this kind of services extended to all the research institutes and public. And this is what we are talking about today, the Wealth of India raw materials, just to have a glimpse. It is indeed, I mean, when you say CSIR's pride, CSIR pride indulges in, it's in the aerospace, yachts, okay, on energy, materials, biology, biotechnology, all these fields, if you see one, the special unique field is information dissemination products. That is also a CSIR's pride. And mainly in that, we have the information resources, and it talks about the wealth of India. Okay, wealth of India, as Professor Ranjana indicated, actually it is one of the longest projects in the CSIR. In fact, this idea was conceived when the whole the concept of communicate publishing came in CSIR. It's actually the origin of this institutes, it reaches there only. Okay, it originates from that. In fact, in 1942, when CSIR was founded, two units, two projects, and that science communication unit started from the headquarters. One is our Wealth of India, the other is Journal of Scientific Industrial Research. That is a journal component. So that's how it started, and this is the in detail. This one, CSR achievements as the Wealth of India. It's recognition. Okay, so recognize one of the 70 major contributions of CSIR. A biodiversity document, I will call it as a big data and economic plants, animals and minerals, and 5 decades of data. Now it is more than 6 decades of data in a unique content and format. We will see that in between. Okay, so this is a picture of this one which I wanted to just show you. And there's also the proper that we brochure that we brought out in 2010, designed by Dr. Sunita Garg. This is Ready Reckoner of Biodiversity and Bioresources India. The best part of Wealth of India is when it was the first volume was launched in 1948. The foreword was done by none other than the Prime Minister of India at that time itself, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who very clearly told that it's a unique product, and he wishes that it reaches each and every citizen of not only India, the globe. Okay, and the way we are taking it forward as projecting as one of the best products of CSIR, it is right on that line. Okay, so that is the thing. And Wealth of India, if we how actually what is the content and how we went about. Okay, and these are the user groups: students, researchers, industrial entrepreneurs, and interested public. Anybody who I mean, especially life science students, when they take up a research question, okay, it will be I mean, if their faculty, if their guides are wise enough, then the first document that they would recommend the students to look into is Wealth of India. Okay, and that we can listen to Dr. Viduyari on this quite a lot. And then from industrial part, how it is useful, we have Imami speakers from Imami, who they would highlight that how it is relevant, the industrial aspects. Okay, and then the customized format. When I said customized format, actually it talks about, suppose if it is a plant, okay, it talks about the kind of what are the species and genus in a particular plant, under the particular plant. Okay, and then its cultivation and the unique key characters. Okay, and then the products. Okay, I mean the produce, and then pests and diseases. Okay, and then the chemical constituent. The best part is chemical constituents of, I mean, from those plants and its parts. Okay, and then export import data. See, leaving nothing. It's A to Z of any plant. Okay, animal, economic animal, and mineral you have under one roof. That is the specialty of this. Okay, and it's systematically it was done. Okay, if I recollect my joining in 1989, in fact, I think I'm the last I mean person recruited for Wealth of India still in service in NISPAIR. Okay, I have put in this is my 32nd year. Okay, and in 1989 I joined in Wealth of India. I still remember actually when I was coming. It was quite incidental that I was reading an article on house sparrow, okay, in Frontline. And when I sat in the interview, one of the question was that could you name the zoological name of house domestic sparrow? Okay, so it is something passer domestic or something. Okay, I could recollect, and so that's how I still remember that kind of thing. So in see, Wealth of India was like most like a school. If I it was not like a I had a feeling that I joined a school, after my college. That was the discipline, and then the strictness that was there in the division that time. We had about 23 scientists. Most, I mean, about half of them are botanists, and quite good number of chemists. Okay, and then for animals and minerals, actually we were only one. I was the lone person for animal entries, and I had a colleague, Dr. Professor M.L. Sharma, was a mineralogist, geologist. Okay, so that was a composition of the Wealth of India team, and we had learned actually whatever I am today. If I am writing something in a admissible way, that is actually I owe my I mean, this kind of experience to Wealth of India. Almost 15 years I worked continuously the project, and systematically take an entry and how we go about. Okay, moving from, first of all, when I joined in 89, the first job what I was given is, okay, it is cancelled in this article. Okay, uh, uh, select keywords from this article. Okay, so the learning started like that. Okay, how to write a story. Okay, what are the methods? The first systematic way. Okay, so I knew that the importance of keywords, and then creating a ledger. Okay, then ledger is like a backbone of any story. Okay, and then with the keywords you move to libraries, as Professor Ranjana indicated, that today we have a click of a button, we have everything on a screen. Of course on screen, but actually it adds to our stress also, because along with that the tag comes. Okay, it's not authentic. Okay, so that's a drawback. And even if you see Wikipedia, they clearly mention that it's not authentic. Okay, so but we were product. Wealth of India is known for its authenticity. Okay, why? Because experts were doing that. Okay, the particular persons. If animal is done, it was by zoologist. Okay, and that's all. So we visited so many libraries. Okay, and I don't think the big libraries we have never missed in Delhi. Okay, that time we used to have a union catalog. Now it is in NUCC. Okay, that is in digital form, which gives I mean the details of holdings, library holdings. Okay, in a city, in a particular library. Okay, so it's very convenient now. But those days we used to call and then may ensure that these volumes are available and then move. And I still remember how relevant the chemical abstracts was for this Wealth of India. Okay, so once we have our keywords, and then we move to this secondary sources like abstracts, and then from that we see that, okay, this paper, this primary paper, research paper may be useful. Then we go for copying, Xerox, and then things like that, taking quickly notes, and then preparing the ledgers. Okay, and then the problem, I mean, the difficulty with Wealth of India was, it's of course, if you say that if I say science writing, I can put it in three different ways. One is scholarly papers, okay, research papers. The other is popular science. Okay, the in between standard is encyclopedic writing, where every statement you need to take up with a reference. Okay, you can't make on your own. It has to be substantiated with the reference. So tagging the reference was quite a challenging task for us, and that's how. And today we can say that it is a biodiversity document. Okay, So this is what I was quickly mentioned now. Okay, plants, animal, minerals in the whole series. Okay, 25 volumes. Okay, the first it was in I mean starting from 1948 to 76 we have the original series. Okay, and then it was revised and that ran for up to 85. I think it was ran up to that. Then later we took it up as a supplement series because the information explosion was so much that we couldn't cover that, and over the period we were losing our staffs also through superannuation. So that was quite challenging. Okay, and then the work pressure was too much, and in fact there were days you read throughout the day, and end of the day you don't even produce one line. Okay, there were days. Okay, and it's quite at times it's quite frustrating. But then we stayed and we could contribute to this kind of monumental work. And the best part is no line goes without any authenticity. Okay, that is the best part of this one. So keywords, literature search, and then I said NUCSI now, National Union Catalog of Scientific Serials, bid letters, drafting. Drafting, I said that's why I said school. Okay, so not less than 3 drafts minimum, I tell you. The first draft, and then it is done by our seniors. It comes back, and then second draft goes. So before finalization, each and every letter is checked. That is a standard that we had. Okay. So why it is so special? Because it is the only platform where you have all this economically plants, animals, and minerals under one roof. Okay, there are about in all the original, revised, and all these volume first and second supplements. We have I calculated physically it was about 10,500 print pages covering more than 6,000 plant entries and 52 animal entries. Okay, and then 74 minerals. When botanical, plant entries are covered under genus and species name, the animal entries are covered in common names. Yeah, that was quite challenging, because when you say that it's bees, okay, bees was entry, but in fact bees had 4 genera, okay. And then if I say corals was one entry, okay. It was quite challenging job. It was one of the earlier days, early 90s. I took up that article, okay, corals. And coral, when I looked into, there was about 340 species, I tell you. Okay. So imagine the kind of literature search that we could have got. In fact, when I did that, I still remember coral, I did 15 chapters. It was almost 100 pages of draft. And finally, in print pages, it went up to 32 pages, the revised first supplement series. Okay. So that is a plus point. So now I was just looking into Azadiracta. Okay. It's a neem, well-known plant. Okay, so these are the products that came, Wealth of India over the period, and it had 3 pages in the original document. If we say neem, I noticed that only there are 2 species, Azadica indica and one more. Okay, but indica is indigenous. The other one is Philippines. This one. Then later volumes concentrated only on indica. And if you see the original series was the biggest contribution. The plus point, the format of our supplement series is we don't repeat the information. Okay, we just add on. That was enough care was taken to not to repeat the information which was already available. Okay, so the merging was quite a challenge. Just a glimpse. I told you this is the first one, 1948, first Azadiracta entry. Okay, and then this is the revised series in 85, I think. Okay, and then this is first supplement series. It's 2000 maybe. Okay, and then this is 2006, the second supplement series. Okay, and animal entries. I told you, though it is 52. Imagine the kind of species number of I have listed. So, for example, camel. Okay, camel there are only one species, but canthridin, that's an insect. There are 5 species. But I really enjoyed working for Wealth of India because it is A to Z of animals. Okay, anything. One day I will be reading about insects, and the other day I'll be reading about elephants. Okay, Asiatic elephants, tigers, lions. Name anything, and that is covered in Wealth of India. And that is why I always wish that this invaluable document, I mean, is made into the kind of Wikipedia kind of thing, and made it open. Okay, so that's my dream. And we, in fact, we worked also with my colleagues. Okay, digitizing all the thing. We also called that term the Wealth Indopedia. Okay, and I'll be happy if it. I mean, if it comes to the right of the day. Okay, and it will be quite useful to the every, I mean, entrepreneurs, research scholars, and all. Okay, so that's what I said. Then animal entries, keywords, when we went about. Okay, the bees was a single entry, and I had to search all these keywords. The preparation of keywords itself is a challenge. So this is later when we got that kind of I mean, updates for working on our CD-ROM disks as well. The search was quite intense because we had a lot of digital resources. So that's also quite interesting, challenging, in fact. Okay, so it was it is the way how I approached B's article. Okay, this is the one. I'll skip that for the time. Okay, so once the from the secondary sources I take, and then I read the abstracts. When it is abstract or more relevant, then we read the whole paper. Okay, these are the standards which we mentioned for units, abbreviations, because even if I see now, I look at the way this research scholars, I mean, in papers, scholarly papers, people write, they have their own abbreviation styles. Okay, Graham is given like GR, and Hours is given like HRS, HR. Okay, so even Wealth of India was known for this kind of standardization. Okay, so we had, and I was talking about Nuxi. Okay, this is how, if it's where use NISPER website. I mean, this access, digital access. I mean, it's a source you can really enjoy, and I still feel it is unused. Okay, underused, I would say that. Okay, so this is what I was talking about Nuxi. Okay, and region wise, and then inner region, library wise, and their collection. Okay, so it will give you a rough idea, and then you can go to that particular library to refer. And this is the team behind the Wealth of India: botanist, chemist mainly, and then zoologist and geologist. Okay, we had a little bit of, I mean, very small team of technical support staff. Okay, so the original series, when we are doing, they did that supplements, because when certain entries which had an explosion of information, those entries were brought out as I mean, supplement to the volumes. For example, livestock. Okay, livestock is a beautiful documentation on all cattle and piggery, everything. Okay, goats, everything. That is a very good this one on this. Birds, very interesting, and it's very good for AV bird watchers. And then we have fish and fisheries. Well, of course, in fisheries, if you see, I'm a fisheries student. Okay, so I know Jingran is the Bible of this one, that book. But this is also not less, no less, fish and fisheries supplement, and this gives you a rough idea of all the volumes today we talk about, and then the year of publication. Okay, and we took the translation of this one was also taken up, because regional languages, it reaches people very close. Okay, very effectively. So Wealth of India was taken as Bharat Ki Sampada in Hindi, and this has come out with 10 volumes. Okay, and this is also to be promoted. I tell you, it's good to have that kind of translation. So my dream is, if I type Science Encyclopedia, I don't think actually we get all this, whatever we have, they are nothing in front of when it comes to Wealth of India. I tell the kind of authentic information. I only wish that Wealth of India is projected in that one. And even from Government of India, if we see, we have portals like this. Okay, but where is the Wealth of India has to be used. I tell you, at least a link has to go in this. Okay, this is what this is what when I said that we also made, I mean, try to make a Wealthy Indopedia with our my colleague from Dr. Sanjay Burde was there. He was the man behind this efforts. Okay, we try to make that, putting very colorful. I mean, Wealth of India, if you see original volumes, it's all black and white. So we added some colorful photographs, and we tried that we could work out. And only I feel that if it comes through, it's really good for the students especially. Okay, so we tried to make this. It's still in the, I mean, preliminary stages. If we have resources, we can come out with this product successfully. Okay, so digital Wealth of India, and whatever collection that we had, Wealth of India, the best part is one of our team actually went into physically collecting those specimens and preserving. Okay, and as a result, we had a museum that it got created over the period. I mean, from I think it started in 1977, if I remember well. And today it has more than 8,500 plant specimens and 190 zoology specimens and minerals, and so many herbarium seeds, more than 3,000 herbarium seeds. Okay, today this authentication service is used extensively by all Indian. Name any Indian medicine manufacturers. Okay, Patanjali, Imami, or any green pharmacy. Okay, all of them are our clients. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much. I've taken a little more time. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shikha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for giving such a detailed information about this encyclopedia, the raw material series on Wealth of India. So we will quickly move to our next speakers. Next speaker is Professor Vidhu Eri from Jamia Hamdard, New Delhi. Professor Eri is B Pharma and M Pharma from University of Delhi and PhD from Jamia Hamdard itself. She joined the School of Pharmaceutical Education and Research at Jamia Hamdard as a lecturer in 1992 and raised till the level of professor in the department. And now currently she is also the member of Herbal Products Subgroup of Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission 2018. So with this, I invite Professor Eri to kindly share some information and experience with this raw material series of CSIR NISPER. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, a very good morning to all of you. Dr. Ranjana Agarwal, Director, CSIR NISPER, Mr. R.S. Jayasomu, Chief Scientist, CSIR NISPER, Professor Dr. Haldar, and Dr. Shikha. So right at the onset, I'm very thankful to the organizers to give me a forum to connect with all of you, learned delegates and learned speakers. It's indeed a pleasure to connect with all of you on this forum that is Wealth of India. Now the word Wealth of India, it connects all of us to important reserves of India, which is a one single authentic platform to get the required information on all the natural sources. And it was very beautifully explained by Dr. Agarwal that what was the need for Wealth of India, and also very beautifully explained by Mr. Jayasomu. He has made my work very easy, in fact. You know that if the students are listening to you and if the scientists are there, then they can very well understand that where they have to go for the authentic information on all the natural resources. Now, I, being a pharmacognosist and a phytochemist for the last, you can say 30 years, and I think I'm totally today overwhelmed that I'm connected to NISCARE also since last 30 years, when I used to come as a student and refer Wealth of India. So whenever today the students, they come to me and they work, they register under me for their MPharm work or for PhD work, I always tell them how to do the literature survey. And the first answer which they give me is that Google. So I always tell them that no, this is not the way to search for medicinal plants. There are authentic sources. You please go to NISPER and just sit in the library and look into Wealth of India. Though we also have Wealth of India in our library, but still I send them to NISPER, where they meet Dr. Sunita Garg, a very good friend of mine, and I know how hard she has worked, and also Mr. Somu. So now I think they know that whom to this thing they have to go and meet so that they can get all the information. So, as I was talking to you regarding my being a pharmacognosist and a phytochemist, so you can understand that the basic definition of my subject is that study of crude drugs. So, the study of crude drugs that is from the natural sources. And natural sources includes everything, that is plants, animals, insects, and animals. So you can very well understand that what is the significance of wealth of India, from where we can get all the information, and that too an authentic information. Now the best part of it is that uh, you get the information regarding the correct identity of the plant, its common names, then vernacular names, and the geographical distribution. And not only this, this helps the students to collect and identify the correct species, and also they connect themselves to the suppliers which are in that particular region. So this really helps them out. And the next step is that is to get into the agrotechnology, of the particular medicinal plant, which is very important, because as we know that the phytoconstituents, see, you are choosing a plant not because it is natural in origin, you are choosing because it is having certain chemistry behind it, that is chemistry of natural products. So this information about the chemical constituents is also very well given in, and also you can say very well documented in Wealth of India. And the best part is that we have the cross references, and the cross references that of chemical abstracts and biological abstracts, which students they don't realize that what is the importance of these chemical abstracts and biological abstracts. So students, after referring Wealth of India, I always tell them first you have to refer Wealth of India, and once they read Wealth of India, from there they come to know that what is the significance of these cross references and what is the significance of chemical and biological abstracts. So as a result, it always add to their information. And not only this, then as I told you that the chemical constituents are directly related to that, how they are collected, how they are cultivated, then how they are stored. And the best thing is that they also know that what other things are being made out of it. So this really helps even the layman to understand that what is the significance of this particular medicinal plant. Okay. And then one more thing is that all of you know that India is known as herbal garden of the world, because it is a rich source of diverse range of medicinal plants which are the base of our traditional systems of medicine. And today the traditional systems of medicines, they are coming up, and all the world around, that is globally, they are being encouraged. So the best source, that is from where they can get the information, is Wealth of India. Now, since I am also associated with Indian IPC, that is Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, we are making monographs there. So there also we pick up the information from Wealth of India, and then later on we move on to other very good literature which is there from ICMR also. But what I feel is that ICMR and other reviews are all, they, I think the base is Encyclopedia of India only. So you, or Wealth of India, which I call it as encyclopedia, which I also call it as a dictionary. So wherever you want to know. And the best part is that, as Mr. Somu referred, that is you add on the knowledge, you don't repeat the knowledge. So this is a very good thing. That is, suppose there is a particular genus, and when more species are being added to it, this is added to this. So I can see in different volumes, and these volumes are really on my tips. That is, this volume is containing the monograph on this particular genus and how the information is being added to it. So what I can say is that all the this thing, even at the school level and even at the college level, you can see that in University of Delhi we have so many colleges where we have Department of Botany is there, and Department of Chemistry also. So they are there is always, you can say that they don't understand that from where they will get the correct identity of the plant. So I always tell them, you please refer to Wealth of India, from where you can get the correct identity, because many of them are working on medicinal plants, and even they have made this study on medicinal plants as their curriculum in their upcoming syllabus. So they called me also regarding this. I told them that you have to go to NISCARE, and there you will come to know that what all information you can get from here. And once the student I know so many students, they just go to NISCARE and all their problems are solved regarding the identity of the plant material, the raw material authentication. And I remember MAPA is also there, that is medicinal aromatic plant abstracts. So not only this, we have full-fledged monographs on certain plants which students are always searching for. So you can what we can say is, not only this, now see this plants, they are being converted into phytopharmaceuticals, you know, which is a new class of drugs. So new class of drugs means that is, you will start your base from traditional drugs, traditional extracts, but you will add other factors to it as modern medicine, so that they can be prescribed by modern physicians as well. So you can understand that the scope of these traditional herbs or extracts, it has really expanded. And when the expansion goes on, then it is very important that you have to understand, you have to also guard your IPR and also other biodiversity problems. Because see, when a person says, okay, I'm collecting this raw material from this geographical region, then he has to understand that how much collection they can do and what is the range of the constituents which are present there, you know. So all this information you get from Wealth of India. And I think all the people who are related to plants, who are working on plants or on the natural resources sources, and also on the economic products, and not only this but also the drugs of high trade value, the isolation of the phytoconstituents, all they are indebted to this Wealth of India. The word Wealth of India only, it really glorifies, and we really feel so proud that yes. And people all around the world also, when they talk to us and when the scientists they meet us, they say, okay, from what is the authentication point? So we really tell them, see, you can look into Wealth of India, which is a CSIR NISPER publication, and they really agree to it. So thank you so much, and I'm really very thankful to all of you. And I think Mr. Somu, he had already made my things very easy, and now the students can really understand that how they have to do the literature survey, and they will be more attracted towards NISPER. So you will be now, I think, getting more influx of students, which I guarantee. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your talk and bringing out the academic importance of this raw material series of the Wealth of India. So we'll move to our next speaker very quickly, Dr. Sagnik Haldar. Dr. Haldar holds B Pharma from BPUT Odisha and PhD in Pharmacy from Jadavpur University, Kolkata, and is presently working as a senior research scientist with Imami Limited, Kolkata. So with this, I invite Dr. Haldar for his talk. So I request you to kindly make it brief, so, because we are already running out of time. So over to you, Dr. Haldar.
Thank you so much for brief introduction, and thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable information regarding the Wealth of India. Thank you, Joy Somu sir, thank you, Agarwal madam also. Though I am a very junior in this field in front of you, so that I am humbled, I am honored that I have few minutes to speak in front of great and senior scientists. Can I share the slide of mine that will be?
Please do, but please make it fast.
Okay, ma'am, there is some problem.
I think, Jai Sonu sir, your slides are still shared. Screen is shared. Yeah, now you please check, Dr. Haldar.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible. Please go to presentation mode.
So very good morning, all of you. And this is the place where I am working. This is the R&D center of Imami Limited, where I am working. And these are the brands which involves with the phytochemicals and herbs which we are working with Imami. First of all, we all know that it's an enormous accumulation of the wealth of India is an enormous accumulation of data of Indian raw material resources that were described by my learned senior speakers, and it is an internationally acclaimed encyclopedia publication describing in monographic articles of the natural products where I can say that it's the compilation of the this monumental publication visualized the consolidation of all valuable information lying scattered in a plethora of scientific papers and theses. And when it was published, that is 1948 to 1976. That time it was drawing the attention of every natural products raw material based researchers because of its authenticity. Because at that time there was limitations of informations, and there are some limitations of internet also. So we people are belong in the generation in the spoon feeding generation, and that time it was not happened that it was collecting information with the internet, and that time the wealth of India was taking the more attention to the researchers who are working with the raw materials because the information was collected was critically evaluated for correct nomenclature that well described by our learned senior speakers, and the various regional and vernacular names, occurrence, distribution, and correct scientific description regarding its agricultural practice by which we can understand which chemical are present in that particular species, and we can get information regarding the disease, pest, and their control regarding each and every species described in that monumental publication. We can collect the information regarding harvesting, yield, storage, and chemistry and utilization also. So I am very grateful to all the senior scientists for providing such kind of enormous publication to the next generation of researchers. As we know that every good thing has some limitations also. So I would like like to share some points regarding some limitations which we can if we improve that limitation, it can be a bible of the raw materials researchers again. So first of all, it's a old database, and it need to be updated on regular basis, because day by day we are exploring the more plant materials and more mineral sources which we are using in our industry in the preparation of Ayurvedic formulation. As Joy Somu sir said that the photograph which has been used in the publications are black and white. Though the morphological description is enormous, but adding a good color photograph can make the monograph more worthy. So and one more thing we are facing in our industry, that most of industry are procuring herbs from supplier and it's dried form. If we add some information regarding dried raw materials, can make the publication more useful to the industry level, because it is not possible for every industry to cultivate and drying all the herb materials and used for their self, used for ourselves. That's why we are procuring herbs from suppliers, some authentic vendors, and they are providing the herbs in a dry form. So if is it possible to adding some information regarding dry raw materials, it can make the publication more useful to the industry level. And one more important thing that we observe, that the microscopic description with the high definition or color photograph will be added advantage of species identification, because when we are using certain species in our formulations, and that to be selected by its present phytochemicals. And sometimes it has happened that the similar though the genus is same and species is different. So if we identify the correct species, then that will be easier for our selection, and that will be easier for our production also. In recent that my senior speaker, ma'am, that enlightened that the term is now enlightening the phytopharmaceuticals. In recent practice, the phytopharmaceuticals are drawing attention to the healthcare practitioners, but we saw some lack of information in terms of phytopharmaceuticals, because if we add this kind of information, so definitely it will be a more helpful to the researcher, to the industrialist, to the entrepreneur to use the book also. And there is some information also would like to add, that is the identification, the presence of phytochemicals, the identification in terms of phytochemical availability, and that should be profiling by HPTLC or HPLC or some kind of sophisticated method will be that actually shared by quality control standards of Indian medicinal plants. That kind of activity, if we add in this monographic publication, so that will be helpful for all also. And evidence based, there are some so many evidence based biological activitical information is also there, by which we can go with our preliminary searches for which kind of activity, which kind of product we are want to produce, and which kind of activity for the product is giving. But we feel that there is some information should also required in practice based activity study. And definitely, if it will available in the digital format, it will be very helpful for all the people who are involved in the raw materials based research. So as an example, what we are doing in our industry level, for that I am showing next to slide for just to aware the people that what kind of work actually nowadays industry are doing for. So these are kind of digital copy we are producing for ourselves, for our different vendors, with the requirements, what kind of herbs we are requiring, with different characters, that morphological characters that well described in the Wealth of India. But we are suggesting that if we are incorporate this kind of microscopical description, microscopical photograph in that monograph, then it will be highly valuable for preliminary researchers as well as who are working with the industry or research level also. That will help to identify the that will help to identify the proper species also. And in case of phytopharmaceuticals, here I am given an example of the phytochemical marker, which phytochemical marker, actually 5 markers we have isolated from the Parmelia perlata, is the lichens, and this actually from these lichens, 5 marker compound we have been isolated as a phytopharmaceutical field, and we are doing the activity study of each and every isolated compound for the better formulation for better formulation preparation. So this kind of information is available in the available in the Wealth of India. So that will be the Bible. Again, it will be a Bible for the phyto researchers, for the researchers with the raw materials, basically for the plant, mineral, and animal origins. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Haldar, for bringing out the industrial importance of this raw material series and also informing about few limitations. So I'm sure CSI and NISPER will take care of those and may work on rectifying those things in future. So it was really very nice to know about this internationally acclaimed reference standard, which has originated from one of our CSIR laboratory. So from this webinar only, we see how this raw material series has come to use and of importance for people in different industries, including academics, and also how it is still helping the beginner researchers. So I hope it becomes more and more popular and reach every student and industry for their benefit. So with this, I keep this forum open for discussion and also take a few questions from our audience. So
Dr. Shikha, Dr. Shikha, I would like to add few things. Yeah. Dr. Shikha?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Dr. Haldar.
Dr. Haldar, can you please unshare your slides?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, please, ma'am.
Yes, Dr. Haldar, your points like especially the microscopic identification, powdered microscopic identification. So soon you will be seeing a site which is called as rightherb.in, and which I got a project from Birec Pace. And this is computer-based microscopic identification of the raw material.
Yes, ma'am. That I recently heard from Dr. Katiyar, my boss. Just a few days back, we have discussion regarding.
And we will be also adding this powdered microscopy in Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission monographs which are going to come, because this is very important, as the all the herbal industries, they are not taking the raw material as such, and moreover they are getting in parts if it is whole form. For generally herbal industries, they prefer in powdered form because they don't want to powder it and keep it and other things. So for this only I have started this, and I will share with you this writeup.in. And regarding your this TLC profile and phytochemical profile, etc., this is, I mean, a lot of work needs to be done on this. And similarly in IPC, that is Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, you just see the monographs and you will find that all the herbs which we have also added the TLC chemical profile, and it is very good to know, and we will be in touch with each other. For all this information. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shikha. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So
from our industry, we are also working with some monograph for IP for USP also. So there we are also providing. We are suggesting that if we are using the monograph or providing the monograph with the phytochemical based, because chemical is the only thing which can cure the disease, which can cure the
yes.
So it will be better if we focus on that matter.
And that is why we are paying more emphasis in phytopharmaceuticals, which is a new class of drugs.
Yes. Yeah, so can we have few questions from the audience?
Yeah, sure.
This program is going live, so we can have discussions afterwards also. I will take. We have many teachers, principals connected from schools, and we have few questions. Since we are out of time, I will take only a couple of questions. Dr. Komu Nagaya, he is first of all he is telling Dr. R.S. Jayasomu, very nice information in your presentation. He is asking how many volumes of this Wealth of India raw material series is published so far in numbers, and are these original volumes and supplement series available in CSIR Laboratories library or
Well,
not? Please elaborate.
yeah. So if you recollect my presentation, I kept a slide on tables. Okay, only one table was there in my presentation. The Wealth of India raw material so far. How many? I mean, if I say original series, we have 13 volumes in original series published from 48 to 76, and in revised series we have 4 volumes. Okay, covering up to part of C. Okay, CI, CA to CI, A to CO to CI, and it was 92 last publication. And then we brought in first supplement series. First supplement series have 5 volumes covering all the entries. Okay, and these 5 volumes were published from 2000 to 2004, and it was followed up by second supplement series, which came in 3 volumes. So altogether, we have today 25 volumes. Okay, so is it clear?
Yeah.
I hope I've answered.
So these volumes are all available in hard copy at CSIR NISCARE. NISPER.
Yes.
Okay.
And our BDG group is will be very happy to engage any question on marketing of this.
Yes. Okay. So we'll take another question from Dr. Komu Nagaya only for Professor Vidhu Ari. First of all, he is saying very nice presentation. So his comment is like crude drug. What is the significance of in Wealth of India for crude drug? So correct identification of the plant, most important in the plant drug industry.
Yeah, see, crude drug means that is the raw material which you take, for example, any part of the plant, and you have simply dried it. No processing has been done. That is the crude. And in case of plants, if the material is of right identity, it is not an adulterant or an substitute. Maybe it may be a substitute if it is not available there, but the chemistry needs to be same. So there is lot of emphasis on that you have a right identity of the plant on which you have to work.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So we have one question from the Science Connect. They are asking, is there any provision for having this valuable resource in all school, colleges, and university library across India, or at least in digital format? Sir, Jayasomu, sir.
Yeah. Well, okay. That is what I see. We tried this about a decade ago when Professor Gangan Pratap was there as our director. We in fact digitized also. Okay. And if I say put it correctly now, a raw form of digital material is ready. Okay. But we need some kind of manpower, quality manpower stuff to make it into a final product. Okay. And it involves a lot of, I mean, IT, because as the experts also suggested that we need to make it a value addition, by providing colorful photographs and the kind of information that is required. Okay, so in fact, that time we thought that, okay, Wealth Indopedia, that's why we called that, we conceived the idea of Wealth Indopedia. Okay, and you see, it's the information is massive now. It's not possible to keep on updating from single institute. So we thought of crowdsourcing. Okay, that is why we made it like we wanted to bring it and place it at the base content, and then let the people, then the crowd, when a public add information on that, and there should be a moderator group, okay, which they would go through the information and then approve. Okay, so that kind of thing. Okay, we'll still take this into serious consideration. We would be very happy if CSIR also supports us in bringing this volume to the daylight. That is my dream is also. Shekha, it's my dream, I tell you.
Yes, sir. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So there are other comments and suggestions from our viewers. So our team at CSIR headquarters and NISPER will be taking care of these comments and suggestions. And if any viewer has any question, they can directly contact to our NISPER team as well, right, sir? Jayasomi, sir?
Most welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have almost reached the end of the session, and with this I thank all the speakers for connecting with us today and sharing your experiences, and also our viewers for showing interest in the talks and interacting with our speakers. I now request Mr. Jayasomu once again to kindly deliver the closing remarks for the session and also present the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you for that great opportunity. Okay, I must thank all the resource speakers first of all. Okay, let me start from the opportunity from CSIR headquarters, that the kind of recognition that we received. Okay, and then my senior colleague Hassan Javed, who promptly said that Somo, it is your area, you need to take the entire responsibility. Okay, and that is how I just moved into. And then Dr. Geeta Vani, okay, for support this one. And then Director Ranjana Agarwal, she was in fact in a way when I was showing, I took a little more time to make that 800-word story, because see, I did this about 3 decades ago. It was for me to put myself again and then rewind myself and then bring out that. And Madam said it okay, it reads well, okay. And then she also suggested that you add this kind of component with NISCARE, and then the kind of the work that you people did, okay, in that has to also come out. So that's how we improved that way. And my colleague Sunita also had gone through that and suggested valuable corrections. And I thank all my colleagues for making this one. And then the best part is, connecting with the resource persons. Okay, so that was a challenge, and it's a short time. I really gave only 3-4 days for them, and it all actually, when time comes, it comes everything in a very nice way. That's how it happened. And we were listening to the wise experience that they had, Professor Viduyari, the how they the projected Wealth of India as important as a user, okay, from student days, and then now as a senior faculty. And then we have friends from industry group. The moment I talk to his senior, okay, Rakesh or somebody, then from Dr. Sunita gave that contact. I talked to him. Immediately he said, I will give, in fact, 2 people, not 1. And later because of time constraints, we had to cut down the number of speakers. In fact, see, talking about Wealth of India, it doesn't even a whole day is not enough, I tell you. Okay, so it requires a kind of a week-long program celebration kind of thing. So with this, I thank all the contributors and my colleague, Dr. Mahesh. In fact, last minute, he was in touch with me to get into a shape, even from getting a passport size photo also for the poster. Okay, that's all these challenges. Okay, so I thank all my colleagues for making this very successful, and not the last but not the least, yourself. You have anchored the program very well. Thank you, Shika. Yeah, that is, and thank you all the audience and the participants and those who have raised a few valuable questions and suggestions as well. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for summarizing and closing the session. So this is for our audience. We are posting a blog on every success story on our CSIR website. So those who want to read more about it can visit our website and have a look on the blog. So with this, goodbye to everyone. Thank you.